You're going to love this interview. Just got done editing it. I'm glad I got it live for you. I'll be in the comments for the next 30 minutes hanging out, answering any questions you have. In fact, leave a comment below about data points or what you think is going to happen to the company, and I will respond to every comment. Additionally, if you're just loving the content, click the thumbs up and I will go and check out your profile as well and give your videos some love as well. In the meantime, enjoy the interview. Hello, everyone. My guest today is Gary Saarenvirta. He is the CEO and founder of a company called Daisy Intel, which is helping companies optimize operational decision-making. He's a rocket scientist with 25 years experience helping enterprises make hundreds of millions in net income gains using artificial intelligence. His mission is to reduce poverty as companies invest these gains to lowering prices, which lowers costs of living for you and I. Gary, you ready to take us to the top?
Absolutely.
All right. So artificial intelligence can be a little bit dangerous because there's a lot of marketers and sales guys like me that just throw the term around and doesn't mean anything. So walk me through a case study. How is somebody using Daisy Intel?
So we're helping them make decisions that are beyond human capability. So in retail, for example, deciding what combination of products to promote every week is beyond human ability because the combinations matter. Customers buy solutions, not products. So if you're making a dinner, like an Italian dinner, you're buying ground beef as the promoted item. Well, customers are going to buy pasta, tomato sauce, bread, milk. So the combination matters. So if you have 50,000 products and you have to choose 2,000 to promote, that's 10 to the power of 3,600 combinations. That's more than the number of atoms in the universe. So that's where the AI comes in and helps find the optimal combination that's beyond human ability. So the idea is you can simulate something you've never seen before. That's a key defining feature. Simulate faster than the pace of time, and you don't have to have historical examples. If you need historical examples, that's called statistics.
Interesting.
The vast majority of companies, what they call AI, they just really mean statistics or supervised learning.
And is that the real kind of prime use case, which is help, if Walmart is going to send an email out to their customer list and they want to give a coupon in the email to drive as much foot traffic, you'll say, okay, send out the cereal because if you give $1 discount on the cereal, they're going to come in and buy milk and these 3 other things. So it's like upselling, but how to get foot traffic in the door.
Yeah, that's one of the use cases. And we do pricing and inventory forecasting, space planning, supply chain. And in insurance, we do fraud detection and underwriting. We do medical diagnosis and healthcare. So really complex decisions that the computer is applying math beyond a human's ability.
Okay. Now, when you came back on in October of 2018, you shared that you founded the company in 2003 and you were serving about 17 customers then. How many customers are you working with today?
We have like 25 customers today, enterprise customers that are, our deal size is quite large. It's like, it's like about 300K. Some of the old deals were, early customers paid very little. So, recent deals are kind of $500,000 and up on an annual basis.
Okay. Got it. So sweet spot there again, $200,000, $300,000 sorts of deals with some that are much larger.
Yep.
Okay, very good. And that would, 25 customers times obviously that ACV. It sounds like doubled over the past 18 months.
Yeah, we've almost doubled in the past 18 months. The world has gone sideways now, given that retailers are struggling to do supply. Promotions have been frozen, so that's kind of affected our short-term revenue. But we're fortunate that the retail industry in the long term will be less affected than others. Insurance is less affected than other industries. So I think new sales is kind of stalled, but and I think we'll preserve the majority of our revenue. So I think the world is going into pause, hit the pause button, but then we expect to get back onto even faster growth. We were planning to triple in revenue this year based on a Series A we just did in September.
Mm-hmm. So that I'm doing some back of the napkin math here. You were doing about 4 million at beginning of 2019. You're at around 7 or 8 million run rate today.
Yeah, about 7 million run rate today, and we were planning to get to about 1.2 million run rate by the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, 1.2 million monthly. So we're going to get to about 17 million by the end of the year. That was a plan. Our first quarter sales were on track to that, and so now it's just been like kind of pause. Right?
Yeah. So let's talk. You just did a recent raise. So let's talk. Every founder right now is thinking like, how do I make sure I have enough cash to outlast this? And once I feel comfortable outlasting it, should I actually invest more aggressively now because everything's cheap and it's an opportune time? And these are like the big questions. So let's dive into that for you. You raised some additional capital. How much total have you raised now to date?
Yeah, we raised a total of $15 million today. We did a $10 million raise in September. And so that was capital we raised. And so we want that to last. We were planning to do a B round this year in the fall. I think that'll be delayed a bit, but so the goal was to burn through that money. It came in 2 tranches. So first tranche was 7 million. Second one will be 4. It'll actually be 11 million. So that 4 will be unlocked later this year. And so the goal was to make sure we have cash runway to get to those milestones. The milestones of 8 million and 10 million. Those are the milestones for tranche 2 of the A and then the B round. So.
Okay, interesting. So how much of the 7 million that you actually got accepted back in, and it sounds like you also did a $5 million round with Espresso, a debt round on top of the 7, right? So you had basically 12 million in cash in the bank come in September?
No, I mean, it was topping up an existing credit facility. So we had, and there was this 5 million credit facility based on run rate. So, it could grow up to 5. So we currently have enough cash. We're cutting burn like everybody else. So we've kind of stopped, obviously travel has stopped, which is a big part of what we do, traveling to sell, and, marketing, conferences, stuff like that has stopped. So we've kind of stopped all discretionary spending for the moment, on the marketing travel front. And we're probably doing some temporary layoffs at some point. We're thinking about that. If the world continues to go sideways, just to make sure that the cash will last as long as possible.
Yeah. So once you're done kind of right-sizing the company to make it through the virus, how many months of runway do you want to have in the bank?
We want to have 12 months with our credit facility. I think it'll be. I mean, our destiny will be in our control with our credit facilities, as long as we can grow slowly, because our credit facilities are a multiple of our revenue. So I think we want to cut the burn back to the place where we can run indefinitely within our credit facilities. But that means we got to get some growth. So I'm relying on modest growth will allow us to last indefinitely and allow us to get to the place. So we built a plan that's kind of got 18 months runway within our existing credit facilities.
Yep. What was burn prior to virus? You took in like 300, 400 grand a month, something like that?
Yeah, it was like 500 grand a month. We were planning to burn, 500 times 12, 6 million, spend 7 million, leave a bit of buffer there. That was the plan, to spend that money, and that would get us to the next round. So now we're just dialing that back, it back probably like 200K a month. So.
Yep. And how do you, so obviously travel goes out the window. That's the easy thing to cut because no one's traveling. You maybe cut back on some marketing stuff, but how do you make sure you cut, but at the same time, take advantage of online retailers who are going to be growing like crazy right now that might use you more in a recession?
Yeah, I mean, so we're doing a lot of campaigns, outbound calling. So, our inside sales team has got, we've targeted them at of clients out there, and we've had a lot of active deals in the funnel. So I think the ones that were very active and close to closing, we're still working with those. We've just flipped our sales process to be by video like this. Fortunately, we're a tech company, so doing video meetings is not a big deal. So we're flipped everything to video and continue out there. And we're looking for alternative revenue sources. We're doing some COVID analysis for retail to help them forecast their supply chain, maybe reduce their assortment in the short term so they can have stock on the shelves, how to win back customers that you've lost to the discounters. And so we're doing really low cost one-time, say, hey, for a one-time fee, we'll do this for you on the belief that on the back end of this, they'll be grateful to us and maybe engage us. So we're kind of getting creative and then finding different ways to bring sales in the door.
Yeah, that's good. Bring cash in the door. And what's the team size today? How many folks?
The team size today is 65 people.
Okay. And how many, this sounds like engineering heavy. How many engineers?
Engineers are about 22 people.
Okay. Got it. And then how many quota-carrying sales reps?
8.
8. Okay. Very good. That's good. And so are you seeing, so ignore growth for a second, historical companies that have already been paying you for a year, 2 years, are you seeing them ask for things like, hey, can you pause our account? Are you seeing churn spike?
Yeah, we're seeing that. Can you pause? Like we've some of the retailers, they're making more money, but even though they're doing that, they're not doing promotions. Some of them paused kind of promotions while they're sorting this out. So we've had people pause. One company paused revenue. One company accelerated a sale. They were liquidating and they did it 6 months faster, so they sold the company. And so that was kind of a churn. But most of them are continuing, and we're doing other value-added services to make sure that there's no kind of churn for the short term. So
that's interesting. So what do you think your net revenue retention this year will be?
I think our net revenue retention will still be more than 100%.
Okay.
I think that's our belief in it, because I think we're still going to sell. I think this year is, although I think we plan to get to, even in this environment, probably 9 million in run rate by the end of the year.
Yep. And you shared last time you were on about 10% gross revenue churn annually, 20% expansion for 110% net revenue. You think you'll probably do about the same thing?
Yeah, I think we might. I think, like logo churn might be a little more. I mean, our numbers are small. Like, we're not a typical, because we're an enterprise SaaS. We have a small number of customers. So one customer loss is like 4%, right? So
yeah. Yeah, very good. And then, are you one big thing right now? There's a couple of CEOs I've interviewed that have credit lines, and a couple of those, whether it's a bank or a lender, have surprised the CEO a little bit and actually said, "Hey, I know we agreed to we're doing no credit lines anymore." They basically shut off their credit lines. Any concerns with Espresso doing that to you guys?
I mean, our goal is to talk to them. We talk to them every week to make sure that we're on the same page. We've given them a plan that we believe is viable, a plan that shows that if they support us, we're going to be viable. And so I have 100% confidence that we will come through this pandemic. And I don't know what the company will look like at the end of that, but with the partners that we have, I believe that they'll stay with us, and we'll continue to talk to them and work with our investors. And we're leveraging the Canadian government has some emergency funding, and there's some government institutions that help businesses anyway. So we're leveraging everything that's available out there to keep everybody on side and happy, and just keep communicating. I think that's key. You just got to talk to your finance partners regularly, give them confidence, let them know what's happening. Hey, pick a plan that you can make and then make it. That gives banks confidence. That's what we're focused on.
Very good, Gary. Let's wrap up here with the famous 5. Number 1, favorite business book.
Favorite business book is still that Built to Last, Good to Great. That was a really great one that I love from the past.
Number 2, is there a CEO you're following or studying?
I'd say not really specifically. I look at all the big techs. I read a book about Elon Musk lately, so that was kind of interesting. I used to think he was a bit of a doofus, but I think reading his book, I got some more insight. I don't think he's as much of a doofus as I thought he was, so that was really interesting.
Number 3, what's your favorite online tool for building Daisy?
I think the Salesforce sales management tools, I think those are great. I love tracking the funnel. That's something I look at every day. So,
Number 4, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
Well, I'm getting like 6-7 hours of sleep. I think that's.
And what's your situation? Married, single, kiddos?
I'm married with kids. Divorced. My kids are all grown up, but I'm remarried.
How many kids?
I got 3 kids.
Oh, wow. Okay. And how old are you?
Me, I'm 54.
54. Last question. What do you wish your 20-year-old self knew?
Would have started a business a lot sooner.
Yep. Guys, there you have it. Daisy Intel, helping online retailers decide what products to promote, how to do it to drive additional revenue. Seeing a little bit of a pullback right now with the virus, but they raised $15 million to get through it. Burn was a little north of $500,000 a month. They're cutting that burn down to make sure they can live off the cash that they just raised back in September last year. But they still are seeing nice growth, up to 7 million run rate today, up from 4 million just about 18 months ago, hoping to break about 8 million in run rate at the end of this year, despite obviously the recession and virus. Gary, we're rooting for you, man. Thanks for taking us to the top.
Thank you. Thanks, Nathan. Appreciate it.
You guys know I fight like heck to get these data points for you from these CEOs that rarely do these kinds of shows. If you want more shows like this, make sure you subscribe right now. We're trying to get 10,000 YouTube subscribers by the end of September here, 2019. And it would mean the world to me if you clicked now to subscribe. Additionally, I've got 2 more great interviews for you. If you want more data points from the world's leading SaaS CEOs, click and watch.